What if the secret to success, what if it wasn't about shouting the loudest, but actually about being the quietest? Today, we're going to explore a really powerful story that kind of flips the script on how we think about achievement. It gets right to the heart of what it means to build something meaningful. Not for the applause, but for the work itself. So, let's dive in. Okay, so it all kicks off with this one question, right? That little voice in the back of your head always whispering, hey, when's it going to be my turn? But this is so much more than just a question. It's the engine that drives us, the very fuel for ambition. And that is exactly where our story begins. All right, section 1, the question of success. Our story opens up with a young man who's probably a lot like you and me, wrestling with this exact thought, just trying to map out a future that he can't even see yet. And for him, this wasn't just some passing thought. No, it was like this constant hum in the background of his life. That feeling, that mix of raw ambition and deep, deep uncertainty. I think we all know what that feels like, don't we? Moving on to section 2, the voice of the people. Now, his internal struggle was one thing, but it wasn't happening in a vacuum. He was totally surrounded by this chorus of doubt, a wall of external noise that wasn't just unsupportive, it was actively hostile. Just listen to this. This was basically the soundtrack to his ambition. You can't do it. And it wasn't just coming from one person, it was a crowd. Just this constant, crushing wave of negativity. Can you even imagine trying to build your dream when it feels like everyone around you is trying to cause an earthquake right underneath you? And that brings us to section 3, the decision to work. Because right here, at this crossroads of his own uncertainty and everyone else's doubt, he comes to a turning point. He makes a single decision that changes absolutely everything. And here's the choice he faced, laid out perfectly. On one side, you have the chaotic, loud noise of other people's doubt. And on the other, the potential, quiet harmony of his own work. He had to pick a frequency to tune into, and, just as important, which one to tune out completely. So he makes a vow to himself. No more arguing, no more trying to convince people with words. From this moment on, his only argument was going to be his action. His only voice would be his work. Section 4 is called the noise of silence. So what happens after a decision like that? Well, an incredible period of focused, silent effort. This is the part of the story that happens when nobody's watching, where the only sound you can hear is the work itself. This timeline shows it perfectly. We see the decision, and then we see the result years later. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? The real story is everything happening below the surface. That massive, unseen foundation built on countless hours of silent, relentless dedication. And just look at his mindset during this time. He wasn't doing the work to get a round of applause or for anyone's sympathy. The validation had to come from the work itself, not from the outside world. His motivation was purely and really powerfully internal. Okay, section 5, the answer and the smile. And this brings us to the result. After all those years of silent labor, his work is finally ready to speak for itself. The silence is about to be broken, but not by him. And there it is. The question has totally changed. The very same voices that once shouted, "You can't do it," are now whispering, "How did you do it?" The entire dynamic has just been flipped on its head. It's incredible. And his response? Oh, it's perfect. Just a smile and this simple, profound answer. This right here, this is the heart of the entire story. While everyone else was busy talking, he was busy building. Success wasn't some kind of magic trick or a big mystery. Nope, it was just the inevitable result of his silent, focused work. And so, we end by turning that question right back to you. This story is like a mirror, isn't it? It's asking us to look at all the noise in our own lives, the doubts, the distractions, and it asks us to really consider the immense power of just quiet, focused work. So the final question is simple, but it's a big one. When are you going to let your hard work